Hello, my name's Peter, and I'm a permaculture practitioner. I'm also a homesteader, and I'm in the process of building a house. Today, out here, I took down 5 stems. 2 that were double maples, one there, and one here. It fell in opposite directions. And up there, a white oak comes down this way. Now, some people might get upset with me for cutting down trees, but there's a substantial level of stacking of functions that's going on here. I cut down 5 stems. Out of that, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of timber for building our house. In addition to that, I got an undetermined number of poles for doing fencing and building raised garden beds, and perhaps some shelters for livestock as time goes on. I'm not sure about doing that, but it's a possibility. I also built brush piles that look like a mess right now. There's a lot of it. But that's all stick fuel for rocket stoves. And that's a stacked function. Now the space that I'm clearing here is going to be a pond. It's only going to be a shallow pond, about a foot deep, legal without getting a permit at that depth. And it's going to involve the space that I've cleared and taking out most of these other trees from this one back around. That pond is at the bottom of the hill where our house will be. The house is passive solar, and the south-facing wall of the house is 17 feet high. It's going to be catching sunlight off of this reflecting pond, storing it in the house passively to heat us through the winter, to light us during the day. At that level, the pond provides a benefit to the house. The hillside here below the house and above the pond is all going to be garden. Now that garden is going to have a spectacular microclimate because it's going to have the benefit of all the solar energy reflected off the pond. It's going to have the benefit of the solar energy that's stored in the pond. It's going to have the benefit of the hydrology of the pond here. So the work I'm doing today that's taking out a limited number of trees in a space less than an acre is going to build a house, to heat that house, to feed the people who live in that house, and more. I didn't mention that during winters in Michigan, a 1-foot deep pond is going to freeze pretty much solid. That's the source for our ice house, and there's our refrigeration for a good portion of the year when we need it, with no energy inputs at all. So for the cost of, I went through just over 1 tank of gas in my chainsaw today, and I'll use probably less than a quart of gasoline in the winch tomorrow pulling pieces up the hill, and a bunch of my labor. We're getting all of those different functions from this process. Permaculture. It's a pretty good idea.